All right, how's it going, everybody? This is Ismortah, and you're just getting bombarded with these videos today, because man, I just so want to do this material, so that's why I'm pumping them out. So this is Kingdom Death Monster, my own custom campaign. Custom meaning I added the religion of Showdown, which I have a couple abilities of the civilization. I have a unique endeavor I could always do, as well as added the Twilight Night customized to the campaign as well. Alright, so it looks like it works. With that Twilight Night being Isma, with the religion being Ismortah, and the settlement called Showdown. So this session is going to be the settlement phase for Lantern Year 4. So I'm going to do the settlement phase, and like I had briefly mentioned last video, if there's ever a special showdown, that will be its own stream. And then the remaining after the special showdown will be just included in the hunt stream, because it's its own showdown, so it's gonna be a longer sequence, and it'll be like doing a showdown. The Nemesis Encounters, though, I keep mixing them in special showdown. Nemesis Encounter means that instead of doing the hunt, you go after this boss, whereas a special showdown means a boss attacks you during your settlement phase, whereas the Nemesis Encounter replaces a hunt. Alrighty, so we're doing the settlement phase. I've already shuffled. I've already gotten the innovations out and the principles, shuffled the innovation deck, and also started brainstorming stuff I may want to purchase, as well as endeavors I may want to do. Alright, let's do it. Let me get a swig of water, get some sort of little refreshment. So give me a minute. So I do see while I'm getting my water. One of the bad things about doing a Nemesis Encounter is not only are they particularly harder than farming quarries, unless you do like a level 2 or level 3, but obviously higher levels more difficult. You don't farm resources. Like, you may get things off the Nemesis, but you're not farming it like a quarry. So, you may be a day back on if you didn't save up stuff like do innovations and stuff like that. I say that because I may be in that situation, because I don't think I want to use this resource in order to proc another innovation, even though I could, just because I can use it as any resource. If I actually get bad RNG, you can use it for anything. But then again, it's also bad to waste the entire Lantern year not innovating, because stuff branches. So I don't know. I'm on the fence. We'll see. I'm not sure what I'm going to do as far as that goes. So I'll just go down the list before I start jumping the gun, but I have started brainstorming what it is I want to do. So unless this has a very involved settlement phase, like last Lantern year, it's probably going to go pretty quick. And that's why I was like, oh, let's try to bust it out. Plus, there may be a story event that procs if we get to the 5th innovation. Currently, we have 4. And we are going to innovate, so... And you may have noticed from watching previous settlement events that whenever I trigger milestones, sometimes I do them when they happen, other times I do them anytime during the settlement phase, because, I just think it's kind of dumb that you do all story stuff and then you only develop. Like, all that stuff is happening during the settlement, so it's more organic if stuff just happens during the settlement phase period versus the hunt period versus, so that's just how I play. This cuts more fun as far as story. All right, so first thing to do is set up. I've already set up what we got to do, and I'm just following along on this here, which is all steps. Setup we've already done. Next, survivors return. Heal returning survivors. Remove any tokens. There are no tokens. Do not remove gear. So I'm not removing gear. All right. Okay, so I heal all damage, first of all. So, what do we got? You don't heal survival or insanity. It's just damage to your armor you recover, and you get rid of any damage done for light and heavy on your character sheet. So Snahavium, get rid of the light damage to the body, and the head is still at 3, and the waist goes back to 1. Okay. Citroni got hit all over the place. Lose the damage to the head, lose damage to the arms, lose damage to the legs. And then Citroni also should have 3 of the head and 1 of the body, so the head goes back to 3. Okay. Next up, and I already did the hunt experience and getting the resources, because that's done as a reward at the end of the showdown, which will always be done during the showdown. Alright, so Volatile got no damage and only had 1 thing to the head. I kind of almost regret that I didn't trigger Frenzy since I had the opportunity, because I could have gotten some free insanity on the character because I knew I was going to kill it. But I'll just have to remember that going forward, because at the time did have Frenzy Drink. Elkcore got whole sorts of damage to the chest, and then had a whole sorts of armor. So the head should be at 2, arms should be at 2, chest should be at 2, waist at 1, legs at 1. Okay, so I believe we've healed all damage. Remove tokens, do not remove gear. Then we gain endeavors. We gain 1 for every survivor. We got 4. That's what these are here. So we got 4 endeavors. Next, we update the timeline. Draw a settlement event card and resolve it. Then trigger the story and settlement events on the timeline this year. So there's a little back and forth on when you trigger stuff, because it is a little nebulous. Because all they say is you do this, and then do this, and do this, but not indicating what's part of that same lantern year. So the first thing I do is update the timeline. Period. So that's why I'm saying that this settlement phase is in lantern year 4, and then the hunt and stuff is in lantern year 4. Because the first thing you do in the settlement phase is update timeline, so it's in this year. That's how I play. Which honestly, it doesn't matter as long as you stay consistent. Okay, so we're in lantern year 4, and then we draw a settlement card. So I've already shuffled, so we'll see what this is. Hopefully it's good stuff. It's honestly always a crapshoot. And then once I get it, I will write it here. Okay, well this is one that I've seen before, which is weird because, like, I believe it looks like there's 20, 30 different settlement cards. But there you go. Acid Storm. Show it to you. And see, it does have a couple things you can do with endeavors if you have them. So I don't know Nightmare Training. I don't know Cooking. So unfortunately I can't use these. But if I get this again, boom. Okay. So Acid Storm. The air tastes sour and burns the survivor's cracked lips. The sky cracks in great flashes. revealing spiraling black clouds. Finally, it opens, dousing everything in acid rain. Oh man, this could be bad. This says, now I rolled d10, and it could be bad or really bad. Okay, so let's see what happens. Just like everything in this game, it could be really bad or fantastically bad. Sometimes really good. All right, so oh my god, that was almost a 1. I was reading what a 1 was. Really bad. We rolled a 9. That's probably really good. If it's 6 plus, some of the debris around the settlement becomes useful due to the strange effects of the storm. Add 1 scrap to the settlement storage. So scrap is a resource, but if I recall, there's different types of scrap. I could be wrong. Maybe there's only one type. Let me check. Is the only scrap the lantern? Maybe so. Maybe that's why they say that. If I can't find any of those scraps, I'll do broken lantern. They should just say broken lantern. Like I say, some of these things in this game are a little nebulous, and that's why people don't know exactly what to do, and a couple things should just be worded differently, or, unlike we've talked about this, not having the cards because they're unnecessary. But anyway, it is a fun game. Alright, so we found a broken lantern. That's the only scrap I can find. Alright, so we got a broken lantern to our list of stuff. Boom. It's like the acid kind of eroded away the lantern horde. Oh, that's what I forgot to show. I knew I was missing something. The locations. One sec. Our current location stash. Yes. We got a lantern horde, a skinnery, an organ grinder, a bonesmith, and a Katarian. Everybody needs a Katarian. Alright. So, and there's other stuff that happens. So for Acid Storm, we can't do any of these because we don't have Nightmare Training or Cooking. But there are lingering effects. One is the storm prevents music endeavors, so I can't do any endeavors that have music associated with it. And then also, the storm inspires, +2 to the result of all art endeavors. So, if any endeavors I do have to do with art, like for example, this endeavor is language, shared experience. A bonus to arts, but cannot do music. Okay. And that's for the rest of the settlement phase. So I'll keep this out for time being. Alright. And I'll log what we did. So that's me. This one was a lot quicker. So this one was Acid Storm. Okay. And then trigger story and settlement events. There's no story. Story and settlement events would be what's on here. So there are none. Next, we update the death count. There's still just 2 people that died. Nothing else. No one knew for last Lantern year. Now we check milestones. Do you trigger any milestone story events if the conditions were satisfied? Part of the reason why I do them right when they're satisfied, because it sort of just makes more sense. And also, you may not remember who got what. Otherwise, you need markers reminding you, which is kind of stupid. That's one reason why I do it. Plus, it just certain things meet the flow better. So anyway, blah. So there are no milestones. There will be a milestone if we innovate again, of which I will do it during the settlement phase. I don't care about this order, just so you know. All right, so next we develop, which means we can spend endeavors and we can make gear. All right. And do keep in mind, well, I'm keeping in mind to tell you, is for this hunt, we're going to be fighting the Butcher. So it's a Nemesis Encounter, it's not a hunt, and it's something else we're also preparing for. So I will get out the book just to see, hey, what's going on with the Butcher? So the Butcher is 169. So I'll go through the stuff about the Butcher later, but he is a little bit harder target than the White Lion. Big surprise there. And this is a picture of the Butcher. Looks like he's taking the faces off people. So that's the Butcher. All right. More of that in a future video. AKA the one directly after this one, because there's actually no hunt. It goes straight to the Nemesis Encounter. Okay, so we got this lingering effect, but I don't think it's going to affect anything that we do, but I'll keep it out just in case. Who knows? So we want to now spend some endeavors. I know I want to innervate, and I think I want to do a shared experience twice. And then the last one, I'm thinking about spinning it on doing the Shadow Ritual, which is something I add to my campaign, which is, if I spend Endeavor, I could share one weapon proficiency or fighting art with 3 Survivor. And then the original Survivor skips the hunt and gains a disorder. So that I may possibly do, but we'll see. Or maybe I'll just share more hunts. Because I don't see anything else of value that I can do. I could do the Bone Axe or Bone Sickle, but I also need leather, which I do not have. And I can't make a Monster Tooth because I need heat. And these, well, I could make the Rawhide Whip. Actually, I didn't notice that before, because I have ammonia. I can't do Rawhide Drum because I didn't learn drums. But yeah, the Rawhide Whip is actually, that is something I didn't consider before. Let me take a look at that right quick. Because I believe that's a weapon that draws aggro. So whenever you wound with the Rawhide Whip, you become the priority target. But its ability to actually hit is terrible. It only adds 1 to strength. So, pass. I'm sure there's better whips out there. That one is kind of garbo. Okay, so the first thing I'll do is innovate, not innervate. Innovate's like you give someone energy. Innovate means you create something. Just because it makes something of value that I can then use off of the innovation. So I'll do that first. So I'll spend an endeavor, and these 3, Monster Organ, Monster Bone, Curious Hand, nothing specific like Cat Eye that I may consider keeping. So an organ, a bone, and a hide. So archive those. And then we get to innovate. So what that is again is I draw 2 from the top, I've already shuffled, and then I choose 1. And then whichever one I choose, I'll then add additional consequences to the deck based on what it was. So the 2 are, this happen to be the 2 home ones. Wow, and I shuffled this too. Wow. Wow, really? I mean, it's definitely possible. Wow, shit. I just can't believe that happened. Huh, All right, well. All right. So we got bed and we got family. So the first one is bed. These are two choices. I can it raises my survival limit by 1, which is awesome. So now I can have my max be 5. And then also I can spend an endeavor to rest. So I roll 1d10. And then I'll either gain 1 insanity or I can heal all severe injuries of my type of my choice. Which is actually really good because that means I could heal Isma, who has 2 severe injuries. I would like to be able to cure disorders, but I can't do that yet. But I did remind myself of something. There are a couple characters that, because people came back, I can remove the ability to skip next hunt. So that's Oko, who I'm probably going to have come out next time, as well as Isma. Doesn't skip the next hunt anymore. But that's a really good one. So if I have a really good character that does happen to have something terrible happen to him, I can at least heal that injury. Now if I could just get the ability to also heal a mental injury, I'd be in good shape. That way, in case someone does something, I can repair the damage. So that's a very interesting one. Next one is family. All departing survivors gain +1 survival. So this one's good for raising my limit. This one's good for giving everybody more survival when they go out. As far as the points. This is just the max that you can have is raised. And then also what family does is survivors nominated for intimacy may give themselves a surname if they do not have one. And then a newborn survivor inherits the surname of one parent and their weapon type and half of their weapon proficiency levels. Holy shit. So if I have, what that means is if I have family members with high proficiency and they have kids, the kids will then have their same surname and have half the weapon proficiency. That way when they age or die, they're catching up. So it can take their place. Wow, these are both really good. Really, really good. I'm not sure what to do. Shit. Let me think. The other thing to take into account is intimacy. There's special bonuses if you had different horrible consequences. So that may be worth taking a look at as well, since I've seen it once before. So intimacy 133. Intimacy. There is an advantage if you have a hovel and an advantage if you have a bed. So that is interesting. So bed has some direct bonuses with intimacy, but family gives you the bonus when you do intimacy to share the weapon proficiency. So really both are good for it. Ah, shit. They're both good. I am not sure what to do. I'm kind of thinking bed right now. Just because my people's proficiency isn't super high, and you get more of a bonus from family if you have a large proficiency. Like, for example, if I had 2 proficiency, half of that would just be 1. But if I had 4 proficiency, half that would be 2. So you get more of a bonus when people are much higher level. So I think I'm going to wait on this, even though I would really love to get another bonus to survival. But if I had bed and I didn't use all of my survival, I can bank it, and then people can go out with more survival by having the limit be 5. And then I can also heal injuries, because maybe in this next battle, someone's going to get their arm cut off. Well, this way I can heal that damage by spending a endeavor. So I'm thinking bed. I'm thinking bed. Like, this is really good. Family. But the bed. I think I'm going to do that. So what that means is this goes back to the deck, which will be shuffled again later. And then for bed, we log this. So now we can do this. And if anyone's injured, I can go ahead and do this too. It's either I can give someone an insanity, or if I roll decent, I can heal physical injuries, but that person has to skip the next hunt. And you can only do this once per settlement phase. All right, so we're adding bed. Which is +1 survival limit. And then also spend endeavor to heal injury. Heal physical injury. So I think the only person with physical injuries actually was Isma, but the fact that she has multiple injuries and multiple disorders, she's kind of KO. So I don't think I'm going to spend it this time, because unless I could heal the mental injuries, I still want to take her. But if other people get injured and raise the survival limit, awesome. Plus, there's that bonus to the intimacy also. If I roll 7 to 8, I get bonus stats. That's good. Cool, so I added this, and then this raised my survival limit permanently. So now it goes from 4 to 5. Okay. And then now we have bed. Now, like I said, I don't care. Because we have 5 innovations, it also triggers a milestone story event. Because we have settlement with 5 innovations. So we'll go ahead and trigger that story event also. And that does the Hooded Knight story event. $129. Uh-oh. This can be really bad. Really, really, really bad. Okay, let me make sure I did that correctly. Hold on a sec. Oh my god. This game, I swear. Okay. We have 5 innovations. I said to follow the theme as I do it in the phase. I'm just going to trigger it. So if it's something the settlement does, I do it in the settlement phase. If it's something that happens during the hunt or showdown, I immediately do it in that phase. That's how I'm playing the game. I don't care. I don't want to try to remember who did what. And this way it sort of fits the theme that something happens and you have that experience. You immediately get the benefit of that experience. When you have 5, that triggers the Hooded Knight. Okay. So for the Hooded Knight, I'll show you a pic. It's pretty bad. There's a lot of death, a lot of blood. It's bad news bears. And that sword you see is actually the Twilight Sword. Yeah. Hooded Knight. A stranger emerges from the darkness. If any survivor has the Twilight Sword, they duel the knight. Otherwise, his moves are inscrutable, and you roll below on Mysterious Agenda. So, I do have a survivor with Twilight Sword. It's the person that is mentally and physically maimed and actually can't even pick up the Twilight Sword. So That's what we're going to do. The hooded knight confronts the bearer of the Twilight Sword, and they roll on the table. Add +1 to the result for each Twilight Sword weapon proficiency level. So she can't pick up the sword, but she can at least add to her roll by being proficient in it. So her proficiency is 4. So I roll d10 and add 4. Actually, no, before I roll, let me see if I can gain proficiency levels. Well, I mean, it says what it is, so it's 4. 4 plus roll. Let's do it. Okay, so it's a 3. 3 plus 4 is a 7. So 4 to 7. The survivor is badly wounded. Like, the survivor is already badly wounded, and it couldn't even pick up the sword, so of course she's going to get maimed, right? The survivor is badly wounded. Suffer the gaping chest wound, severe chest injury. And then the knight has unfinished business, which is something else that happens. So let me write down gaping chest wound. So no, I mean, she is maimed. She is so done. So done. Okay. Let me write that down. And there's no limit to injuries. There's just a limit to disorders and fighting arts. I'm like running out of space for this. Gaping chest wound. Okay, now I need to go look up what that does. And the severe injury. Like, she's already been emboweled. Now she also has a gaping chest wound. And has a dismembered arm. And has a torn Achilles heel. I mean, she is so done. Gaping chest wound. Suffer -1 permanent strength. This injury is permanent and can be recorded multiple times. Gain 1 bleeding token. Since we're not in a showdown, the bleeding token doesn't matter, but -1 permanent strength. Okay, so I'm just going to mark that on her. Strength +1. So now it's 0. So I'm just erasing it. So it's 0. So she'll see that 9. So the bonus that she had went away. Yeah, she is fucked up. The hooded knight came to her and just maimed her. But didn't kill her, but hurt her badly. So, plus, question mark. Of course, it does also mean she's going to get cut up every time. So, Anyway, we will deal with that later. Okay, let me find Hooded Knight again. Lost it. Oh my god, what did I do? What did I do? See, it's like this summit phase, we're just getting invaded by people. A Hooded Knight came to our town. Then we have the Butcher, which will be standing outside the settlement. So just bad news bears. Okay. So the survivor is badly wounded, suffered a gaping chest wound, severe chest injury. The knight also has unfinished business. Add the Hooded Knight story event to the timeline 4 years from now. And then we'll return. So, Hooded Knight. All right. So, the Hooded Knight is going to be 4 years from this year. So, 1, 2, 3. So, on year 8, Lantern year 8, we're going to see Hooded Knight again. Hooded Knight. Okay. So she got cut up, and that's all he did. He's like, oh, you have a settlement. Slice. Okay. Let me see if anything else happens on this page. Nope, that's it. Okay. All right. So what happened? We did Endeavor, we innovated, got bed, then we got visited, be like, hey, you guys doing settlement shit. All right. And we raised our survival limit. All right, so now we got 3 Endeavors left. So, oh no, you know what? Before I proceed, I need to add these consequences to the deck. I need to look for every instance of hovel consequence. Oh, I'm sorry. No, this doesn't add any additional ones, actually. You would read at the bottom, like add hovel, add ammonia. You don't add anything, actually. Okay. All right. All right, so we got 3 Endeavors left. That's a new Endeavor space. We're not going to do it. I mean, she's so fucking maimed. Not even more maimed. No, that'd be a total waste. The problem is, if she dies, she won't die. She'll heal up. But then 3 people get -1 to all of their stats. Now, because she heals, I'll probably have that removes all disabilities. I'll just see that like she's reincarnated. Maybe she comes back at 0. I haven't determined yet what I'm going to do for that thematically. But it doesn't make sense to have her die and come back and still have bonuses and mental conditions and stuff. I don't know. I haven't determined yet. Unless you're saying just use the life force to sustain her. I don't know. We'll get there when we get there. As written, I just had said that if she would die, she doesn't, and instead 3 people get -1 to all of their stats permanently. So we'll see. We shall see. All right, so next. We spend some more Endeavors. So we've done that one. I'll make stuff last. I want to do Shadow Ritual. Like, we've already fucked up Isma physically. Now let's see if we can just fuck her up more mentally. Because I believe she had something else I still wanted to share with people. She has Last Man Standing, with everyone has. But then I also want to give Mighty Strike. With Mighty Strike, a perfect hit would give you +2 strength for the rest of the round. That person. So it's like a boon to hit if you do a perfect hit. So I thought that one's interesting. Does anyone else have interesting ones who's not dead? No. Unconscious Fighter. You cannot bleed or get knocked down. Oh, I'm sorry. Unconscious Fighter does it take 7 bleeds to kill. Now that's interesting. Especially since I'm never going to take Gora into battle because she's fucked up mentally. So I need to cure that first. That would be a good one to share. Yeah. That may be the winner because that helps survive. Other people, do they have anything of interest? Elt Corno, Last Man Standing, Last Man Standing. And Snyhavium also had Crazed. Whenever you get a perfect hit, you get +1 Insanity. That's very situational, which is bleeds. You can stop it all the time. So I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to make Gora a little more crazy and give everyone 3 other people Unconscious Fighter. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. So first things first is I spend an Endeavor on Shadow Ritual. So I'll place that on Settlement. And then she gets a random disorder and also skips the next hunt, which obviously she's going to do because she's too mentally... She's apathetic. So she can't even gain survival, so she's just a liability. And she gets a random disorder. Now this is something that adds to the game for fun, for thematic. It add a little boost in the game, but add just more fun flavor to the game, just for my religion of doing with the story. Even culture, as a culture, you're trying to figure out what's happening in the world, and doing what they can to survive and learn the mysteries of the lantern. Sure, but they're like, hey, this person is saying, hey, embrace life and embrace death, and the balance of the two. Okay, and that's where Showdown comes from. It's the world of shadow. Shadow being, you can't create shadows unless you have light and darkness. Okay, so disorders. So we get a random disorder. And there is a way to heal disorders in this game. I just don't know what it is. I have not seen it. But I know there's a way to do it. It could be from doing drums and dances and rituals. Or maybe it is from nightmare training. Not sure. But there is a way. I just have not seen it. Alright, so the disorder is traumatized. Your experiences have left you shaken and paralyzed by fear. Whenever you end your act adjacent to a monster, you are knocked down. So that means whenever the player can still do a action and a move, but at the end of their turn per se, they're always knocked down. So that's terrible. So Gora is now traumatized. I'll just say KD at end turn. At end every turn. Okay. And this gets added back to the deck. And now she's going to share Unconscious Fighter with 3 survivors. Okay. So I definitely want to give it 3 people that are going to combat this time, which is not going to be the entire family, which is the kids and the parents. So let's see. I believe I wanted to give 1 to Oko. And then someone that basically I want to give it to people that I need to be in it to win it. So I'm thinking Elkor with the club and Snahavium. Because has high luck. And who also has Crazed. So the best person, capable, and 2 capable new people. Okay, so I'll give it to these 3. So Unconscious Fighter. However you spell unconscious. So basically it means to kill via bleed, you have to get 7 bleeds, not 5. 7 bleeds to kill. Okay, so Oko's got 1. Snahavium will get 1, so she'll be at 3 fighting arts. She'll have Crazed, Last Man Standing, and Unconscious Fighter. And you can only have maximum 3, so if you get a new fighting art, you just have to lose 1, but it's your choice. So, honestly, with that argument, I may want to give that to somebody else, because it could be a better fighting art in the future. That is a good point. That is a good point. So maybe I don't want to give it to her. Maybe I'll give it to Citroni and Elkor instead. Okay. That way, if there's a really good one that I get, I can add it without having to give up something. unconscious fighter. That's number 2. And then number 3 would be Elkor, because I want to give him the club, so he's going to be in it to win it. Go the duration. Of course, if I give it to Vaudel, who has last man standing, then, well, of course, if you have the last man standing, you already can't die from bleeds. If you're the last survivor. So, I'll stick with what I'm doing. Okay, so I shared it with these 3. And that's that endeavor. Now I have 2 endeavors left. So what I was thinking about for these last 2 endeavors is doing it on shared experience. That way I can bump one person's hunt experience up higher so they get their proficiency, their weapon specialization or weapon proficiency start leveling it sooner. Because you have to get your weapon proficiency to 3 to be a specialist, and you have to get your hunt experience to 2 in order to start weapon proficiency. So, if I give 1 to Elkor, he'll then get to age. He'll then age, and can get a weapon proficiency. So that's a good target. And then I could also give 1 to Oko, so that he's closer to getting weapon proficiency. And this just adds hunt experience. In order to actually gain weapon proficiency, unless some other means, you need to use the weapon in battle, which makes sense. You use the battle and you practice. Okay, so, and you have to, whoever you're giving it to, wait, let me read it. Make sure I don't screw it up. The nominated survivor that has 2 or more hunt experience than yourself. Nominate a survivor that has 2 or more experience than yourself. They describe illuminating details of desired death. You gain 1 hunt experience from their story. Okay, so Snahavium's at 4 and Citroni's at 3. So I'll have Snahavium teach Elkor to gain a hunt and spend endeavor, and then I'll have Citroni teach Oko to gain 1 hunt experience. That's what I'm going to do. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to spend the first endeavor on Snahavium. And it doesn't say that I can only do this once, so I'll do it twice. So Elkor will get 1 experience. And then ages. So now I go to the age story event. Again, I'm doing the events as they trigger in whatever phase that I'm in, with the exception to milestones. That's in the book, because that's something that the Selman does, and that only can happen in Selman phase. So story-wise, I'm finagling it a little bit. Finagling. Because it's more fun to me and easier to keep track. Okay, so 107. Weapon proficiency, and then roll 2d10 to determine what boon you get. Okay, so first we're going to see, what's his weapon proficiency going to be? And I believe I want it to be the club. So I have club, guitar, bow, and Oko is probably going to be spear when he starts leveling. Okay, so that's done. And then I roll 2d10 to see what stats get. A 4 and a 9. Well, that's an interesting number. Lucky 13. 7 through 15, gain 1 random fighting art. That's what I'm talking about. Especially if it's a good one, I can share it by making someone that has it because basically what I'm doing, how this works is it's not someone teaching like shared experience. It's destroying somebody's mind to implant in other people's minds is what it is. It's not like a share. It's a ritual. It's not a teaching. It's like doing a spell. Okay, so the fighting art we get is Last Man Standing. Fuck, really? Damn. Let me see what happens if you draw the same fighting art twice. Because I think it just nullifies like this order. If you already know it, you already know it. God, this entire deck, and I get Last Man Standing. Son of a bitch. Let me check. God fucking damn it. I'm not sure how to look that up. Fighting art. You go, boy. Talking to my kid. He's walking around. He looks bored. Damn it. If you would gain a fighting art and you already have one, nothing happens. Son of a bitch. I didn't get a fighting art. No, I didn't get a fighting art. That sucked, man. There's a whole deck of cards. Wow. That blowed. Let me make sure that's right. Who was getting that fighting art? Elcor? Oh! Never mind. Elcor doesn't even have Last Man Standing. He's one of the people that didn't have it. Wow, that was lucky. I was like, everyone has it. Okay, phew. Son of a bitch. Okay, Last Man Standing. That was really lucky because so many people have it. That's one that I shared. Nice. It's kind of a waste, though, to have Last Man Standing and Unconscious Fighter. Well, I guess both good. One is like, you can't get killed, but then if you're the last one, you're immune to all bleeds, so. It's just, you know. I don't, in a perfect world, want a total wipe. I just thought it was good protection for prevent a total wipe. Last Man Standing. Okay, great. Wasn't a total waste. Great. So he learned Last Man Standing. He's like, hey, everybody knows this. Let me learn the ways. Cool. All right, so that's Age. And that was that endeavor. Now the next endeavor, I'm going to spend, last one is, it's not, Citroni is going to teach Oko, and he's going to gain 1 hunt experience. Boom. Alrighty. So that's all of the endeavors. That's, I innovated, I did milestones as they came up, and Ismortah got maimed by the Hooded Knight, whoever that is. Acid Storm's still in effect, but I did not do any music or art. What would a ritual count as, anyway? What sort of endeavor would that count as? I don't even know. I would argue maybe even language, because it's a ritual, or maybe it's an art. But this would be +2 to the result, but there is no result, so anyway. So this goes away, this was done. Now, I'm going to make stuff. I almost forgot to make stuff. Okay. So I'll go ahead and get rid of all endeavors. They're all spent. It's fine. Now we're going to make stuff. So in the resource storage, I have 2 broken lanterns, a sinew, a skull, and a lonely ant. And I have a kitty in my chair. Wondering what I'm doing. Because he wants to play. He likes to play. Okay, so a sinew is an organ, a skull is a bone. So technically, after what I want to do, I should have left two skulls and two bones, two organs, three scraps, a vermin, and a wild card. Two organs, two skulls, two broken lanterns, and a wild card, and a vermin. Okay. After I do everything that I plan on doing. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use... Oh, I'm sorry. I am going to lose the sinew to make this. I'm going to lose the sinew in storage to make a monster grease, because monster grease is here, takes one organ. What monster grease does is it just gives you one evasion. But later on, if I have 3 completed green squares anywhere on the board, also get another evasion. So I don't know if I'm ever gonna get the 3, but just the bonus evasion when someone already has high evasion is really good. And I'll update stats and everything during the hunt setup. Which that's a good point. For the Nemesis Encounter, I may do it now, I may do it later, we'll see. It is part of the settlement phase, so I may just include it for the purposes of this. And then I'll just do the setting up of the showdown during the showdown, is what I'll do. Okay, so I made this. For time being, let's put it there. Next thing I'm gonna make is a white lion boot, because I'm trying to complete the set. So that costs 1 fur, white fur, and 1 hide. 1 fur and 1 hide to make the boots. So boom. White lion boots adds 2 foot defense. And if I have 2 completed red squares, also get +1 movement. I don't think I have that completed yet, but I'll check. It's possible. I don't think I do though. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move some stuff around. Yeah, I don't have a red that goes up. So I don't get the bonus movement yet. But still good. That way someone else can get the rawhide foot defense. And then the last thing I was going to craft was the King Spear. So you're like, why am I making so many weapons when I already have weapons? I'll let you know. Because you want to have variety in the game, because you don't know what you're going to encounter. Because you don't know if someone is going to be toxic to being close. You got him at range. Or you don't know if something only hits with sharp weapons. Or if you need to bash it. Or if you need to slice it. I don't have any... So that's why it's good to have a variety of different things you can do. As well as having a variety of people good at different stats. Because maybe you have something that totally annihilates accuracy. Or totally annihilates strength. Or makes it so you can't critical hit. There's nothing to critical hit. So on and so on. So to make the King Spear that I'm going to make, I'll show you in a sec. It's a bone weapon. No, it's a cat weapon. It takes 1 lion claw and 1 great cat bone. These 2 here. So archive that. And we made the King Spear. This, just like everyone else, roll 2 dice. It has a little bit easier time to hit compared to the guitar. And has the same amount of... it has the same strength as a guitar. Come on, focus. But it has a little bit better accuracy. And then you can also attack at range. So you don't have to be in close. Okay. So, actually, yeah. So I'm making this weapon. So for time being, I'll put it there. I'm going to shuttle some stuff around. I think I'm going to shuttle this here, actually. Since she is rocking 2 guitars, because you can pair it. Otherwise, you have to choose what weapon you're doing, like in close or ranged weapon. Cool. So now we made all of our stuff. So, let's see what's next. Now I prepare departing survivors. There's no special showdown. It's Nemesis Encounter. It replaces the hunt. So now I see who I want to go out. The fact I don't know what happened with this guy, I don't want all of my best people to go because I don't want them all to die. But you know, I want to have good people go, as well as maybe a cannon fodder, possibly. This is something else I was thinking of. I don't know. Okay. So we have 12 population, 3 of which are indisposed. Actually, no, these people are dead. Hold on a sec. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So, but this is a really hard encounter, so I want to have the best people possible. It's not like doing a hunt when you can have people teaching people as they go. No, I gotta make sure I win this battle. So, nope. I just really did want to take Oko. So one of these people are going to sit out because I have 5 people. And I wanted to take Oko. So I think Citroni's going to sit out. Because Snahavium's a little better. So Citroni's going to sit out. Make sure no one has a skip next hunt. Okay. So then I have Oko, Eltkor, Svatol, and Snahavium. So Snahavium's going to have the guitars, who's proficient in guitar. Oko, I want to use the spear. Eltkor is going to be proficient in club, just no levels. And Vatol is proficient in bow, just no levels. So these 2 could level in this battle. Oko, if we succeed, will be proficient in the spear, and Snahavium is already gaining levels in guitar. Actually, only has to gain 1 more to be a specialist. That's a good point. The reason I say a good point is because if Snahavium dies, then Citroni has to be in 2 more battles to become a specialist in guitar. But if Citroni's the one who dies instead, and Snahavium's out, then she can get the proficiency in the next quarry and then can become a specialist. So I think I'll have my best person sit out. So then right now I have people that have 1 stat, people have a bunch of stats, and people have a lot of stats. The only 2 people with a lot of stats are Citroni and Snahavium. But really the only difference is she has 1 more luck. But fuck, man. What if I need that? Son of a bitch. Thing is, Snahavium has 1 more luck, but Citroni has unconscious fighter. Otherwise, their stats are identical. I just think that's too much risk. Plus, she has 1 courage, 1 understanding, which can level up in more future hunts. For For the sake of the settlement, I need to make sure I win the battle, but at the same time, I need to make sure there's someone that can take over if the battle completely goes to shit or multiple people die. So I'll have Snahavium set up. Because Citroni has more survivability, unconscious fighter, can survive bleeds. And has a lot of luck. I mean, the luck's going to be 3. So, I mean, I can even force it and say don't do the fucking arrow, just to give additional luck from this. But I just think having luck on the bow is a good idea too. Because volatile by default adds 2 to luck. So I have multiple people with luck. So like this would be luck 3. Right. So, alright, we'll do that. We'll have Citroni, Oko, Volatile, and Elkor. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do is update everyone's weapon boxes and stats for boxes. And then I'm going to archive everything, and then that'll be the end of the stream. So at the beginning of the next stream, before the showdown, I will set up the showdown board. Okay? So this is like a classic settlement phase. We're including some stuff that otherwise I include in the hunt session. Okay, so I'll start with Citroni. So he has 3 to head, 1 to waist. Attacking with a guitar, that's speed 2, accuracy 7, strength 3. He adds 2 to evasion, so it's 2, and then he adds 2 to luck, plus 1 luck, so it's 3. But then the Lion Beast guitar, you can add the speed together. So the speed's actually 4, because this could be used in 2 guitars. You know, 1 each hand. Are you a bitty kitty? You go get it. Go get it. He's playing with this toy. He wants me to play with it. So that's another reason I need to end the stream. Okay, so Oko. And I'll add to their departure when they depart too, because when the showdown starts, they arrive. So I'll definitely also do anything that triggers depart. Okay. Oko has 3, 2. Oh, I'm sorry. Citroni also has monster grease, so it's plus 1 evasion. So his evasion is actually 3, not 2. My bad. Yeah, plus 1 evasion. Okay. Oko has 3 to head, 1 to foot, has plus 1 accuracy, which is interesting. Okay, and now we do the weapons. So he has, it's a he, right? Yeah. The speed is a 2. The accuracy of the weapon is 6 plus 1. So it's a 5. Because accuracy reduces the number that you need. So you can hit on a 5 plus. One accuracy, so it's 5. Strength is a 3. Evasion is a 0. And luck is a 0. Okay. And he was the one that got first place in his race. Okay. Next up is we have Elkor, who these 2 people should be the same as these 2 that just flopped. So we have 2 to head, 2 to arms, 2 to body, 1 to waist, but now 2 to feet. That sound you hear is my cat having some fun. Alright, and the weapon is still 265. Plus 2, but he has plus 2 to speed, so it's 46500 on evasion of luck. And then bottle still has 1 to head and just 1 to waist. And then it has the bonus to luck. And the weapon, primary weapon, is the bow, which is 2 speed, 7 accuracy, strength 3 plus 1 is 4, evasion 0, luck 2 plus 1, so luck is 3. Alright, so that's everyone's gear stuff. So now we've finished the party survivors. Now I'm just going to archive all the resources, and then that will be it for the settlement phase. Okay, so what I mean by archive is all of this stuff. This is already archived, already added bed. So we have all of this. We're going to archive, then I'm going to update the party survivors stats. And then that'll be the end. So we have all this. Broken lantern, we go up from 2 to 3. So you have 3 lanterns. Okay, and we now have 2 skulls. Alright. And then now we also have a 3 question mark. And we also have an eye of cat. And I also have a cat on the floor. So total resources we currently have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But a lot of it is crap that's left. I'm sorry, I'm just noticing your chat. This is Kingdom Death Monster. I'm getting toward the end of this session of the settlement phase. It's a game that is a nightmare horror survival story that's a combination of running a settlement and building it, as well as hunting a monster. So they have a phase of the game that you're trying to pursue the monster, and then one you're battling the monster. As far as that aspect, if you've played Monster Hunter World, it's very similar. You hunt monsters, you kill them, and then you use their parts to make stuff. But this game is a mature rated board game. It's the only mature rated game that I have because there's a lot of sexuality and violence and gore and suffering. And it's also a game that's a campaign like D&D. And it's also a game that you can actually run solo. It has a self-run campaign. As well as when you fight the monsters, they're also intelligent. They use an AI deck, so you don't always know what they're going to do. A lot of cool stuff. Definitely check out some of my other videos if you haven't seen to see how it goes. All right. So I have 3 lanterns, and the ant are kind of garbage stuff right now. So I have two skulls, an eye of cat, and a wildcard resource, which is good. All right. So these are archived. So now the last thing I'm going to do for the stream is shit. What was it? What was I gonna do, Mr. Kitty? I don't remember. Oh yeah, it was update everyone's stats that they get when they depart. And then during the showdown, I'll update people's stats when they arrive. Okay, I need to borrow the seat, little buddy. I'm sorry. Okay, so now I'm looking for anything that says depart. So I believe there were 2 innovations that said when you depart, or maybe just 1. That's right, I just updated the limit, not what I get. So Hovel gave ammonia too. Hovel and ammonia, you get +1 survival when you depart. So everyone gets +2 survival when they depart. And then if you have anything else that says when you depart. Okay? So what I'll do is, when I go through everyone's thing, I'll also add +2 to survival. And I'll just double check ammonia, and hovel. Departing survivors gain +1 survival from hovel, and +1 survival from ammonia. Okay. So I'll do Oko first. He has one that departs that says here +1 survival, plus he gets +2, so he gets +3. So he goes from 1 to 4 on survival. Okay. Next up is Citroni. There's no departing stuff. Well, there is. Acanthus. +2 survival. So he gets +4 survival, and the cap is 6, so he goes from 2 to 5. Okay. And that's one of the reasons why I was thinking maybe it's good right now just to raise the cap, because I have a lot of creative ways that I could add survival as well as if you bank it. Okay, Volatile has, I'm looking for the word depart. Nothing here, so that means we'll just gain +2 survival. So go from 1 to 3. But can gain more survival when it arrives. And since there's no actual hunt phase, that'll definitely happen. And you know what? Since I'm doing it right now, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to do the depart as well as the arrival. That way, all I'm doing when I do the showdown, which is probably be very involved because it's a boss Nemesis fight, is setting up and attacking. I'll do both. I'll just do them in separate phases. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and do both since we're updating shit. Elk Core has nothing that says depart, so gets +2 survival, so it goes from 1 to 3. Okay? So now that's the end of the departing from the settlement. Now what I'm adding is arrival. We're arriving at the showdown. The Nemesis Encounter is a showdown. Okay? So I'll go around the horn again. So anything that says arrival. So this is the only thing I have that's global arrival. All survivors gain +1 survival. So I'll do whatever they have +1. And actually, knowing that, I should give noses to people that need them for stats. Which I think is already in the right places. Okay, so nothing that says on arrival here. So it's just +1 survival. Already at 5, so capped. Oko, on arrival, gain +1 survival and +1 insanity. So we'll get 2 survival and 1 insanity. So it goes from 4 to 5. And then 1 more insanity, so it goes from 3 to 4. Okay. Next up is Elk Core. On arrival, has a stone nose, so it gets 2 survival and 1 insanity. So survival goes from 3 to 5, and then insanity goes from 2 to 3, so he is now insane, which is a good thing. It's protection. The more insanity you have, it's more protection for your brain, as well as anything that you need to be insane will only proc if you have 3 insanity. And then Volatile has a stone nose, and of course the harp. So we'll get 2 survival and 1 insanity. So it goes from, look at this math. You might get at math right. It goes from 3 to 5 survival, and then insanity 2 to 3, and is now insane. Awesome. So everybody has 5 survival, and everyone has at least 3 insanity. Awesome. So that's good protection. Cool, so we've done arrival, and we've done departure, there's no hunt, and we've done arrival. Awesome. So now, that's the end of the stream. Thanks for watching. The next stream will just be the setup of the Nemesis Encounter and then doing the Nemesis Encounter, including rewards if we are successful, and penalties if it's a total fail. Cool. Well, thanks for watching. So yeah, next stream will be a showdown, which will be tomorrow. And yeah, if you like this video and interested to hear more about what Kingdom Death is, there's a lot of fan sites about Kingdom Death Monster. Check it out. And also have previous videos. I'm actually showing every video of every Lantern Year. I'm just dividing up into each of the different phases of each Lantern Year, which is the equivalent of like a day or equivalent of a year. That is the tracking of time. All right. Again, this is Ismortah, and I will catch you next time.